What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RC's Gateway to Comics. Today we are going to be looking at a superhero story by X53 Studios that continues building up their superhero universe. And that book is Arachna 2, The Most Dangerous Game. Now, Arachna 2 is pretty much a continuation of the first story, obviously, where she was battling against Doc Diabolic and Kumo. And in this story, Arachna is learning better how to use her powers and to be a better superheroine. And in the advertising material for this book, it mostly brought up training like what you would see maybe with like a sensei or something like that. Sort of like what you would imagine like with sort of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Splinter. And that is in the book, although it is brief. A lot of it is more of Arachna on a sort of on like a private island fighting against a hunter who has hunted all these like apex predators and sort of got bored with that, so he started hunting much more specialized predators like supervillains and um, serial killers, stuff like that. And he invites her to the island because he has found the doctor that she has been hunting since Arachna 1. So from there, the story takes a lot of different twists and turns. Arachna is introduced to his uh, sort of like servant girl named Tayana, and she is the one to bring Arachna to the island. And this is the guy who's the I guess very rich and very skilled hunter. So he is Jay Carr, and he's the one who will, in a way, be training Arachna on how to use turning her how to be a better superhero. This does build on the story a bit, but I am slightly biased against like stories that incorporate a jungle. I don't know why. It's not really my cup of tea, but I'm not going to hold it against this book because it is a good continuation of the story, and it does build up Arachna's character and set other things into motion that can be brought into the story later on and make her an even more powerful character and superhero. So I don't hold the setting against the book. It's just one of my um, it's just something that doesn't really stick out to me per se. Well, it sticks out to me, but not in the same way that a futuristic story would, or a story that's set in like a city, like what Arachno 1 was, where it's like city and also like suburban. So that's just me. Everyone else can feel free to like it. I still like it regardless of the setting, but I'm putting way too much emphasis behind that. Just moving on. Characters do remain the same. You have Arachna. She still has the two personalities of Arachna and Jenny. Jenny is sort of pushed to the side most of the time because Arachna is the one who is she is the one who benefits the most from being able to learn stuff in this jungle island environment, and she is definitely the one to get them out of these situations. So most of the book is from her perspective. But the other characters J-Car is definitely one of those like skeevy rich guys who is a hunter, and he always thinks of himself as being the one who is in the most control, and he wants to be the one who's in the most control. So he's definitely one to immediately set your alarm bells off. And that's why I say that you can pretty much guess where it goes from there. Doc Diabolic, you see some other sides of him where he is a bit more humanized, and it builds upon his backstory from the first book, and you see where his story is going to be going as it progresses. You see his regret, and you also see where his where his life has sort of fallen to, if you want to look at it that way. So how he's going to fit into the story as it goes on, I think it's going to be quite intriguing, especially with where this book ends off. Um, I don't want to get into where I think it's going to be going, but I don't think that he is going to be as big a villain later on based on who comes back in the ending of this. So definitely take a look at this. Uh, Arachna, surprisingly, has been able to sort of stay in her own section of the X53 universe, and I like that because it's building her up as like the starting point of this superhero world, and everyone else is building off of her. I'm going to be doing other reviews of other X53 comics down the line, and there are references um, back to these books. So being able to see this be the sort of stepping stone for these other properties is definitely intriguing to see, and I welcome it entirely. Now, something that I have sort of forgotten to mention is the art. It's the same artist as the first book, and it is, where is it? It is Carlos Granda and Javi Lapara. Um, Feel free to let me know if I'm saying those correctly, but they do a fantastic job of making these characters and environments look good. Arachna looks hot. She looks sexy. Skin tight costume. How can anyone mess up a skin tight costume? But it always looks good on her. Even in, like, I've already gone over the whole island environment, but they make this look really good. Even for someone who doesn't like that environment, it is. I'm definitely not going to say that. I can definitely say that the island looks great with these. So that definitely helps it. The art is, it definitely holds up from the first book. Definitely carries over to this one, and the story is a good continuation. Now, my final rating for this book would be is a popcorn level story. It was very close to cake level, but I feel like some parts at the beginning of the story could have been elaborated on, like her training with this guy called like Jiho. Yep, Jiho. And that could have been added to, because it, like I said, it is in there very briefly, and the advertising for this book made it seem like there was going to be a lot more of that interaction. So that sort of stuck out to me, and it seemed like it was a little bit lacking. So that's what makes this book a popcorn level. I think it could have had a little bit more of that relationship being built, and it could have maybe had a little bit more of Jenny, but even if it doesn't, it is still a very fun story. So I would highly recommend checking out this book, check out the first book as well, and definitely go and see any of the other books that X53 Studios has been putting out. They are all quite good. So, actually, I believe they have a campaign, and depending on when this video comes out, it is called the Vindicators, and again, depending on when this video comes out, it may still be funding, but it's on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and it's sort of like a Wild West steampunk type thing with hot, sexy vampire chicks. Definitely go and check that out, because I want to support all the stuff that X53 Studios is putting out, because the artwork in this and the story is fantastic, and I want to see more of what this universe that they're building has to offer. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, comment what your thoughts are on this review and on this book, and if you guys are planning on backing future projects by X53 Studios, leave that down in the comments below as well. If you would, please also subscribe to the channel so we can show these comics to more people and get the word out about fantastic stuff like Arachna and any of the other X53 Studios IPs. And yeah, if we grow the channel, then hopefully more eyes will get on these great books. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.